No problem. Hey,
And
everybody.
so I
All
guess
right.
if people want to just introduce yourself and tell the level you're at, you can unmute and take turns doing that.
So what we want is we want you to unmute and I want to personally hear your life story, what brought you to the ukulele, and tell me if you have any qualms about me embarrassing you before we start this old program. So I'm just kidding. Everybody, so hey, so I can see some of you, I can't see all of you. Some of you have your cameras off, and that's perfectly fine. Um, Show of hands, how many of you have never picked up a ukulele? Okay, because you're holding one. That would have been a lie. I'm just saying. So number two, how many you kind of know what you're doing, and you're just kind of really going through the motions at the moment and learning. Aha, Mr. Joe, how are you?
Doing good, good.
Um, so Dory had said that she's just kind of learning and she's kind of getting a hold of everything, and that's cool. So we know she has. So let me tell you, hello, Susan. How are you?
Hey, Pete, I'm going to screen share real quickly to see if it works. And then, yeah. So let me
That's more
just try it real quick.
okay.
Share photo. Wow, this is.
It's different, isn't it?
It's what I used to call cray cray. Yay, it works. Okay. That's how we're going to do it, the old fashioned way.
That works.
I'll
Now,
stop talking now. Pete, the show is yours. I mean, the
oh my
class,
goodness.
the floor.
All right. I have no control over what's going to be coming out of my mouth for the next 30 minutes. You think I would, but I don't. So, let's get this started, everybody. Last week we talked about a few things. I'm going to touch on it just so some of you that weren't here, you may not have any idea what I talked about. But one of the things that I talked about was correct form when holding your ukulele, because that is actually important. And when you're holding your ukulele, what you need to do is you need to have the instrument at a 30-degree angle to your body like this. Okay? Remember that, because if you have it like this, your hand, when you play, is actually in the correct position, so you will have no pain when you play after a while. If you hold it like you were, Dory, just a little while ago like this, you're actually putting pressure right here. And if you keep playing long enough, you'll be like, why does my hand hurt? And hello, girl. How are you? Sorry, my dog. So the other thing that we talked about was a little bit about strumming and chord positions and worrying about the next chord. And that's what this whole segment is going to be on, is basically strumming and changing your hand from one chord to another, and watching where your fingers go. But the most important thing is strumming. When I teach about strumming, there are people out there. You can go to any place online. You can go to any of the major media services, social services. You can go to YouTube. You can go to anywhere, and they'll teach you about strumming patterns. And it's a very useful tool when you're just learning. But what happens after a while is, as you become a better player, down the road you realize that you don't really use strumming patterns. You kind of take a song and make it the way you want to. So this class is actually about creative strumming, and it's about you starting off with the mindset of, I can generate anything that I want for myself. And the reason that I do that is because everybody out there will teach you, and nothing against them, because it's very creative the way they do it. There's people out there that will teach you, if you're going to play, you're going to go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. They're going to teach you those kind of things, and that's good because it gives you a melody for the song that you're going to sing. But what I like to do is I like to start off with the basic strum. Let's start off with the most basic strum that you've ever had in your life, which is you just take your index finger on your strumming hand, you bring it around so that your fingernail is facing down against the strings. Don't even worry about a chord yet, and you're going to strum with that nail right there down. It even sounds louder when you do it. Now, that is as basic as it gets. And if you could actually use that strum for any song in the world, it would be perfectly fine. You would just get bored with it. And that's what happens with strumming patterns. Strumming patterns in their own are fantastic learning devices. But once you get up around, you've been playing for about 6 months, 7 months, I see it all the time. You get in and you're like, well, I actually like the way this sounds when I do this. You become creative on your own with songs that you actually like. Now, that's the second little bit of advice I would choose. If you're going to learn a song, if you're going to take the time to learn a song, always don't, and this sounds really kind of mean, but it's not. Somebody comes up and goes, hey, you need to learn this song. This song is fabulous. Well, that's great, but that's because that person loves that song. You need to choose the song that's near and dear to your heart to start with, to learn with, and you need to take it because you'll be more passionate about playing it and you'll really want to learn it. Just a little bit of advice. Now, when you're playing with a group, you don't have a say-so, but when you're playing for yourself, always try to pick a new song. And I'll even give you this suggestion. Always have a couple of songs in reserve, because if you play a song day in, day out for 2 weeks, it's going to sound fantastic, but you're going to get bored with it. But if you have something where you can go and start on another song and have 3 songs in your bag that you're working on at any given time, you'll continue to want to play more often. All right, so we talked about strumming, and I said the basic strum is this. Now, you don't have to worry about the song yet, but I'm going to be bringing up jambalaya in just a minute so we can all do this, and we're going to try different things. First thing we're going to do is a basic strum. And if I was telling you how to do this, everyone take your strumming hand, whichever hand that is, take your strumming hand. And what we're going to do is, you remember in elementary school when you had things where they taught you how to like hit blocks or clap your hands? Take your strumming hand, hold this hand, your chord hand down like this. Take your strumming hand. And what I want you to do is this. I want you to take your right hand, and I'm going to start singing, and you're going to hear it in a different time than me, but it should come out just fine over there. Meaning you're going to, what I'm saying is there's a time delay, but it shouldn't affect you. All right, so what we're going to do is this. I'm going to say, and I want you to do this with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go. Me, oh, my, oh. Now, what I want you to do is don't even worry about your ukulele right now. I want you to think about listening to where the beat goes, and I want you to start in your head with me, singing the song with me. Hopefully you know it. And you're going to pay attention to the actual pulse of that song. Here we go. 1, 2. Now listen to where I put the emphasis. Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go. Me, oh, my, oh. We gotta go pull the P road down the mile. My Yvonne, sweetest one. Me, oh, my, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bike. Now, did you feel that? Where that pulse was actually going in that song? Now, why in the world is he doing this? Oh my God, he's crazy. Well, it's not really. There's a method. The reason being is because if you're doing this with your hand, you're actually strumming your ukulele, right? All you're doing is changing the pattern of the angle of your hand. That's it. Now, what we're going to do is take that index finger, and we're going to pretend like we're clapping again. Everybody make a C chord. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to do that pulse again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the music up in just a minute. But I still don't make a chord, just strum. Do, 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 do. Do you feel it? Do, 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 do. Now, that is the most simple strum that you could ever do in your whole life. And actually, believe it or not, it comes in very handy when you're learning how to play a song. It sounds silly. It sounds frustrating because it's so simple, but it's actually not. If you will take the time to take that particular strum, which is the most basic strum, take any song in the book. I'm going to just turn a page. Now, here we go. Y'all don't worry about this one yet. Way down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans. Way back up in the woods upon the air. Now, this one should be like this. Way down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans. Way back up in the woods upon the evergreens. Do you feel the pulse in there? That's where the body of your strum is. Okay. So if we're going through the basis of a strum, and somebody would probably teach you a strumming pattern for that. If you look up, there's probably a lot of strumming patterns for that particular song. But there's a old strumming pattern that I'm going to teach you personally. This is one that I use every single day. I'm pretty sure people get sick of it every now and then, but it's called a cowboy strum. And the reason that I teach this particular strum is because it's a generic strum that if you put accents in different places, it will actually work on any song that you use, except maybe 3/4 songs or songs that are in like a waltz kind of beat, a 3/4 time signature. So, but now listen to this. We're strumming down, right? Now, so what you're going to do is that's the down. You have to come up at some point. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go down, up, down, up, down, down. But we have to put a little bit of an accent on it. So it's just use that same finger. Down, down, down. Goodbye, Joe. You gotta go. Me, oh my, oh. Now, so will you put the song up for me, please? We're getting into a little bit of specifics on this one. Is everybody okay?
Give me 1 second.
Up if you're okay. Is everybody awake? I haven't bored anybody to tears yet.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can go get one or maybe both of these 2-year-olds to stop crying in their cribs. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, no. Take your time. All right. So everybody's doing okay. Now, there it is.
My wife said, let them fuss it out. So that's what we'll do.
They can handle it. Now, everybody, you can see the, well, I don't know what just happened. Can everybody see the music okay?
I think it's my connection is iffy, which is weird. I have a hot spot.
Yeah, it's all blurry.
Take a deep breath, Sue. It'll all be good.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. This song only has 2 chords. How many of you out there know what a G7 is? Already. Okay, if you don't know what a G7 is, and Dory, if you're learning what a G7 is, what you're going to do for a G7 shape, actually this is G. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your index finger. Oh, there it is. Now, can you see that okay? All right, now somebody's playing and they're not muted. Okay, let's just do this. I will yell out what the chord change is. So a G, and how to make a G chord is you're going to take your index finger on your chord hand. You're going to put the first finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. You're going to put the first, look at me. You're going to put the first finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. You're going to take that 2nd finger and you're going to put it on the 1st string of the 1st fret. And that 3rd finger is going to go right there in between the 2 on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. It's going to look like that. That look okay? Okay. Now I'm going to tell y'all when to change chords. So here we go. So we're going to go down, up, and put a little accent on the up. Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go. Me, G, my O. We gotta go. Pull the P roll down and C. My Yvonne, sweetest one. Me, oh, my O, G. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun. Back to C. Bye, yo. Everybody okay? Now, that's all fine and good too. Hey, Marshall, that's all fine and good, everybody. All fine and good. But you have to put a little bit more rhythm to it. And this is where my strum comes in. This strum actually goes back to the old cowboy singers in the 30s and the 40s. Some of the Western swing, things like that. And I call it a cowboy strum. Some people in the field, they call it a bum ditty. Now, there's 3 parts to this strum. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to love it. The other thing you're going to do is we're going to teach you how to use your thumb, and you're going to use your index finger and your thumb as a pick. So here we go. So remember I told you to go down? Then I told you to go back up, right? The only difference that we're going to do is we're going to add a short note where you hit at the top. So it's going to go, you're going to hit top, and then down, then back up. So hit, down, up, hit. Can everybody see me okay? I can't see myself, so. All right, so here we go. So it's hit, down, up, hit, down. Now relax your hand. Only use your index finger right now. Hit, down, up, hit, bum, hit, T, bum. Can everybody hear that okay? Now listen to this. Let's make a C chord. And you're going to go up a little faster on that upbeat. Hit, down, hit. Doesn't matter where you hit, just hit the top of the strings. Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go. Me, oh, my, oh. We gotta go pull the hero down the bayou. My Yvonne, sweetest one, me, oh, my, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Hit, down, up, hit, down, up, top, down, up. Everybody okay? Now, in order to make this, I mean, that is it. If that's the basis of the whole strum that I do. Now, there's different ways to attack it, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But this particular strum, if you generalize it for all your songs, you can actually take it and you can make it different for all the songs I have in my book, and you can make it unique. There's also finger picking, which we'll get into that in just a minute too. But everybody else, see, that's the hard part about teaching this. The hard part about teaching this is there's so many absolutely wonderful instructors out there that go through this all the time. And a lot of these instructors that teach basic ukulele and teach people to come in, they all have these strumming patterns, which are absolutely wonderful. So it's not like I'm trying to basically, design a new chicken or create a new possum. The only thing I'm trying to do is show you an alternative way to strum that may be helpful. That's what this is about right now. So we talked about down strum, we talked about up strum, we talked about combining them. Then we talked about the cowboy strum, which is hit at the top, down, up. Now, what can you do to make it just a little different? What you can do to make it a little bit different is you can add some volume to it, and you can learn. Now, you're going to have to practice this. All this you're going to have to practice. And I'll tell you something, this pandemic has done one thing for me, is it's made me play every single day for Lord knows how many days. It's made me a better player. It's made me a better singer. But one of the things that I realized is I realized my limitations as well. So if you practice every day and you get up there and you just play, make yourself, like Nora, you're just starting, make a video of yourself now. Just be brave, make a video, have it there. 3 weeks from now, 3 weeks, take a song that you've been playing and play it in video and see how much you progress. You'll be surprised if you just pick it up every day. Now, here's the difference. Now, what I'm doing is, I'm doing that same strum I just taught you. But what I'm going to do now is, this is what you have to practice on. What I'm going to do is I hold my hand like I'm actually holding a pick in this hand, real loosely though. So there's a pick, okay? And I kind of separate my fingers just a little bit. So when I go down, I'm using my index finger. But when I'm coming back up, I'm using my thumbnail. And this is what it sounds like. I'm going to do an A on this one. Now this is the volume you're going to get. try not to hold back here because I want you to hear the difference. So if I'm just doing this, which you can do all day long, you can use, when you do that cowboy strum, you can use all your fingers if you want to, right? But when I use my thumb and my index finger, you can do any of that. And you are just as capable of doing this as I am. But what you have to do is you have to start with your basics. You have to start with that C chord, and you have to learn how to use your thumb on the upstring. So it's what you do is you go hit, down, and then you take your thumb and you come up. Hit, down, up. And you'll notice there's a little bit of like, yes, ma'am?
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand. Sorry to interrupt, but so you're
That's
saying
what
like
it's
hit,
all about. Interrupt all you want to.
you're saying like hit the wood with my
No,
forefinger?
No,
No, hit the string.
that's right. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit that top string, that
Okay.
G string. You're going to just hit the string. And it doesn't matter if you hit exactly the top string. You can hit the first two, the first three. But it creates that sound that you're looking for. So it's hit, and then down, and then back up.
Okay. Okay.
But I will tell you this, you just learning and just like coming into it, the best thing you can do for yourself is just start with those down strums for a little bit until you get the feel of it. Even if you're just going down and up, right? And even if you go somewhere and they tell you to do a down, down, up, or something like that, get kind of the feel of getting your hand in that motion where you're keeping the beat. You're keeping the beat with that strum. That's the most important thing in the world. The whole art of strumming is learning how to find the beat. And some people never find them. They never do. I know people that have been playing for years. They're trying, God bless them, but they don't ever find that downbeat. But that's what you're trying to find, that downbeat. Everybody can find it. All right, so I'm going to sing this old song, and I'm going to do this. Hit, down, hit. Did you have a question? Oh, okay. So we're finding that downbeat, right? Now, this is what we're going to do. Hit, down, hit, down. Take your time, and if you don't get frustrated, just enjoy yourself. And see how you're having to move your uke around, Dory? That's where you go on Amazon tonight and get you a strap. It'll help you, I promise. And there's some people. Let's talk about this real quick. There's some people out there that think that if you have a ukulele, they're purists and they believe that you don't need a strap, and that is more than fine. But let me tell you from my experience, if you have a soprano ukulele, that little soprano, I can fully get behind the fact that you may not need a strap because you can hold it up all day long. I can hold this one up. But once you get beyond a soprano, you get into the concert, the tenor, a baritone, they're so much bigger and there's so much weight involved that it's better to have it so that your hands are free. That's just a personal opinion. So you don't have to necessarily get a strap, but one of the things you're going to notice is that you've got it sitting on your leg, and you've got this hand right here that's actually holding this part of the ukulele to make a chord. Once you get a strap, you won't do that anymore. Your hand's free. You don't have to have that weight of that on there. And you can actually take your thumb. I told this last week, and the easiest way for you to figure out where your hand goes to make a chord is to make a hand puppet. See the hand puppet? And then you turn him around and you put him right in there to the top of his mouth, top of the fingers to the top of the fretboard. And you'll find that your thumb is on the very back of that. That's the perfect place for it. Okay, now, here we go. We're going to do this song. We're going to use a basic strum, up, down, and a bum diddy. Bum diddy, bum. Let's do the whole song. Now, I I know she can't put the song up there at the moment, and y'all may not have the words. I don't know how many of you know the song all the way through, but if you just want to yell at the screen while I'm singing, that would be fine too. You know, Pete's on screen and he's learning how to strum now. He's gonna go till he puts his ukulele down now. It's the same thing. So here we go. Bum diddy, bum diddy, bum diddy. Here we go. Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go. Me oh my oh. We gotta go pull the hero down the bayou. My Yvonne, sweetest one, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Now notice I'm getting that down beat. Hear it? Do you feel it? Jambalaya, the crawfish pie, the filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see Mama Cherimio. Big guitar, fill fruit jar, and giggle. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Now, that is basically the whole strum, okay? That's what I do. There's nothing dramatic. There's nothing, I mean, I'm a very simple guy, and I believe in the KISS theory, which is keep it simple and strum. Dory, do you already have my book? You do? Okay. Does everybody already have my book? Do you have my book available for you right now? If you have my book available, why don't you do me a favor? Let's do this. Let's go to, where's my song I was going to use?
I'm gonna look for it.
It's the Banana Boat song, and it's on page 38. If you have my book, and if you don't have my book, I'll tell you what the chords are real quick. But this is going to be a different type of strum. And also, we're going to get into finger picking just a little. Everything that I do, I base it on simplicity. All of my chord structures, everything that I do, when I play the ukulele, I base it on the fact that most of the people that are going to be playing ukes with me are beginners, and that's probably not necessarily good. But I do have some harder songs in the book as well. But I've always used to try to keep the beginner in mind and try to keep it as simple as I could. So there's a few songs in here that are just two chords. But this particular song, if you pay attention to the rhythm of the songs and you do the chord, and play the chords, when you're strumming, you can actually throw in some different types of strumming. Do 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 do. Now look, all I'm doing right now is, do you see what it is? It's the sound that you want, but it's just up and down. Somebody would give you a complicated strum for this. All I'm doing is saying, hey, do 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 do. Hear that? Up, down. You're using your fingernail down. You're using your thumb up. Did you find it, Dory? Oh, no?
No, and I know that I have it saved somewhere, but I'm not finding it in my files. I know I have it because Sue has shared it with me before.
Well, it's the same chords as before. So we're doing a C, but this time it's a G7, but you can just play that same G if you want to. So when I do this song, I think about rhythm and strumming different songs. You play it in a different way. It's the same strumming pattern that I gave you earlier, but you're only going up and down. And you're trying to create a feel for a song. And this is just one song of many that you could do anything in the world you want to with it. But if I was to come here and I go, daylight come and me wanna go, I'm going up and down. But hear the syncopated? 1, 2, 1. Here we go. This is just a different technique. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Now mute your strings. Mute your strings. Don't play it. Don't play chord. Listen to the rhythm of your strum. You're gonna go down on the index, up on the thumbnail. And this is what I'm doing. I'm slowing it down for you. Hear that? Daylight come and me wanna go home. Stack banana, messed up. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come. And put an emphasis on the downbeat. Might help if you bottom your head just a little too. Works for me. Woo! I'll work all night on the drink of rum. Daylight come and they wanna go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and they wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and they wanna go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and they wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot punch. Daylight come and they wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot punch. Daylight come and they wanna go home. Day-o, day-o. Daylight come and they wanna go home. Daylight come and they wanna go home. You got to get the feel for that. Do you see what I'm going with that? And the reason I'm bringing that out is because you can take that up and down strum and you can do it any way you want to. You can change it any way you want to. And it's almost universal in its attack. It's almost universal in its approach. One of the things before we talk about anything else, I told you I was going to be talking about finger picking. Finger picking is a form of strumming, and there's a lot of varieties. There's a lot of people that do some really fancy things. There's some people that use their thumb and all three fingers. There's some people that get out there and they kind of point at something and it just magically happens. I don't know how Jake Shimabukuro does that, but he does because he's magical anyway. So one of the things that I had to do for myself, and I'll give you a little history on this real quick. There's certain things that I can't do on a ukulele because I physically can't do them. I had these fingers caught in a industrial mixer and broke them. So there's certain chords like bar chords and things like that that I had trouble with. But there's also certain things that I can't do with like doing that little 3-finger finger picker. But this one just doesn't do it. So I had to teach myself a way that I could do this, and it's basically what they call a Travis pick. Okay, but it's simplicity in its form, and it's so easy to do. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I want you to try it. Doesn't have to be fancy because I am not fancy. But what I want you to do is I want you to take your index finger and your thumb on your strumming hand, because that's all you're going to use, your index finger and your thumb. And what you're going to do, don't even make a chord. I want you to look down at your ukulele and I want you to relax. And I kind of want you to put your hand where it's just relaxing on the ukulele like this. Okay, it's relaxed, but you're over the strings. See how I'm over the strings with my thumb and my index finger? Okay, now it's actually called 4-1-3-2. Now, how do we count our strings? We count them from the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I said 4-1-3-2, you're going to take that index finger and that thumb, and you're going to hit 4 with your thumb, 1 with your index finger, 3 with your thumb, and 2 with your index finger. It's going to sound like this. Now try that. Just be gentle. Take your time. It's like a Travis pick, and it all depends on what you decide you want to do with that. That is, in its simplest form, finger picking. So what if we did this? Same thing. Now, where do we go from there? You can take that particular pattern and you can do anything in the world. The strum that I just taught you with a down strum. What if you did this? What you're doing is you're taking that 4-1-3-2, Travis pick, whatever you want to call it. Out. What I actually call it is outside inside. Because you're playing the outside strings and then the inside strings, correct? Okay. But what you're doing is you're adding a little bit of flavor, a little bit of flair to a finger pick. And so when you're finger picking, you can do anything in the world. The sky's the limit. It's as much as if anything you can imagine, you can do. And so, like a lot of times when I do this, I will actually pick the outside because it harmonizes on a C. So, and then I can add a strum. So I'm actually strumming while I'm finger picking. Wise men say only fools rush in. Now, I just did what's called a hammer-on. As you progress in this and you learn how to strum and then you start playing with your chord hands, you're going to find out two things. One, you're going to find out that, hey, I don't have to leave my hand on this thing all the time. I can lift up and make different sounds just because I'm lifting them up. I mean, there's a whole world that's all in your imagination, and all the things that you can do creatively within your ukulele just by keeping it as simple as you can. And you can make some of the most beautiful music playing the simplest of formats. And that's kind of what my goal is today, is to show you the most simple things you can do and then let you run with them and figure out how you can utilize them. Last thing on the finger picking. One thing that you need to remember is with a ukulele having a reentrant string. So ukuleles are different than any other instrument in the sense that most instruments are linear. And what that means is they are tuned linear, meaning if I did a G, C, E, A on any other instrument, it would have a bass at the top and a treble at the bottom. So a ukulele in its format is actually called reentrant. So instead of it going bass, bass, treble, treble, it actually in reverse goes treble, treble, bass, then back to treble. That's called a re-entrant string. You're re-entering back into the scale. And so there's a lot of things in these variants that I'm showing you because when you're finger picking, you can actually figure out harmonies based on that. So like, I was trying to think of one like chopsticks would be. Let's see. You can actually utilize your top strings and finger picking, and utilize it in your harmonies, and it can be a whole different sound altogether. So let's go back over something real quick, and then I'm going to teach you one more thing. We got enough time for one more thing. And if I'm holding anybody up, I apologize. I know time flies when we're having fun, but I'm going to go back over this real quick. As far as strumming is concerned, what I want you to do is I want you to exercise your right to creativity. I want you to take that single strum to where you're just strumming down. And those of you that are honestly just learning, start off this week and do this. Pick a song, jambalaya, one of those out of the book, and take it slow. And I want you to hear it in your head and then start and execute that strum. And then once you've done that for a few hours, like just play for fun. Pick a bunch of songs and play for fun, and just do that. And then go. And then you're like, okay, well, I got that. And then you're going to do a bum ditty. And just remember bum ditty. Bum, ditty, bum. Out on the plains down near Santa Fe, I met a cowboy riding the rain one day as he rode along. He started singing. It's an old cowboy song. Just remember that. Bum ditty is an old cowboy song. And then we talked about finger picking. What did I say? Outside, inside. 4132, and you always count the strings from the floor. One, and I'll tell you when this is going to be helpful. One of these days, y'all gonna. Some of you may not change your own strings, but when you get ready to change your own strings, it's going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to be like, "Why is this numbered 1, 2, 3, 4?" And inevitably, somebody always puts their strings on upside down because they don't realize from the floor when you're holding your ukulele, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So when on that finger picking, outside, inside. And then if y'all all come back next week, I want you to, this is a little homework. I want you to kind of figure something out on your own. Figure out some little just fun little thing to do that you can do with strumming that you like in a song. And I want to hear about it. The last thing I want to do is this. We talked about all these little different types of strums and talked about the things that I do. One of the things that I do when I'm working out a song, and just this is how I'm working out with me. The very first thing I do is I go through and I check out all the chords and I just strum through exactly the way I told you. I actually, when I'm learning a song, I sit here and I go, I do all my fingers. I go, and work all night on a drink of rum. And I take it as slow as I possibly can until it almost annoys the crap out of me. And then I realize, hey, I'm doing okay. And I go a little bit further. I want you to do that too. But one of the things I do when I do a song, now that I've been doing it so long, is that pattern that I told you, which is down, up, down. I mean, bum, dig. I've gotten to where the last little bit of things that I do is I do a down, and then I do a up, down, up, down. So it's boom, boom, down, 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 down. I hear a train coming, going round the bend. Haven't seen sunshine yet. I don't know when I took the breath yet. Time keeps dragging on. There's all different kind of ways to do it, and I hope you take advantage of it. And guys, I hope all of you have learned something tonight, even if it's just, the fact that I'm a complete idiot and I enjoy doing this. Uh, so,
Can I say a few words?
Ma'am?
Can I say a few words here?
Well, of course you can.
First of all, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I dared to go on vacation. And when I drove to St. Louis, I had my work laptop with me. And then when I was flying out, I thought, why am I bringing my work laptop on vacation? So I left it at my dad's. I got up this morning and I thought, oh, now I remember why I needed my work. But by then it was too late. So I apologize for the technical difficulties, number one. Number two, that's why I was not able to spotlight Pete or share because I can't do it on, I tried it on an Android phone, an iPad, and an iPhone and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that. This class was recorded. I would highly encourage you to watch it once we post it on YouTube. When we put it up on YouTube, I'll try and put it on the Goober Crew for Life web page and Memphis Ukulele Flash Mob Facebook page. I'll put it on those two, as well as the library's web page. It'll go on there too. So
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
try and get the word out. And of course, if you know me, you can just email me or you can text me and whatever.
I will. Did you post last week's class recording as well?
Not yet.
Okay.
It is
Well, when you
being
do, I
edited.
definitely will watch it.
Yeah, it's being edited. This time of year is hard because we're starting to film stuff for summer, and obviously that's first in the queue because summer reading starts on June 1st. Plug
Got it.
there for anybody in Memphis. Sign up. Okay, moving on. What Pete just said about how when he starts with a song, he starts slowly. If you did not learn anything else tonight, learn that. Every song you try and learn, start slowly. I mean, it's like walk before you run. It's the same thing. and pay attention to the beat of the song. Bum, bum, goodbye, Joe. So pay attention to that stuff and then let your hand guide you. If you're clapping it, then when you go to strum, your hand's it's gonna show you. It's just gonna naturally do it. But start slow. You can't get everything and you can't learn everything at once. So pick and choose what you want to focus on, and then you pick the next thing and the next thing, and eventually it just all comes together and you have no clue how it got there. It's just there, and all of a sudden one day you realize that all those little steps, you're not thinking about them anymore, it's just happening.
Yep.
So that's
one advice,
my teaching advice. My learning advice, I mean.
Let me throw a couple things out for you real quickly. Just for me personally, if any of you need to have any questions, I'm always available. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, send me a friend request. It's really strange too. I get some of these that I realize they've got to be bots. But other than that, also we have a group online that is very encouraging to beginners. We call it the Goober Crew for Life. It's GC4L. And they've got some of the most wonderful people you've ever met in your life. They're so encouraging, and they support each other. And if you want to learn how to play, we'll get you playing. So come join us and have some fun. Some of the most awesome people you'll ever meet in your life. But other than that, I guess we'll see you next week, right, Sue?
Thank you guys so much.
If you have any questions, just come write me and let's see what we can do.
Thank you, Pete. Enjoyed it.
Thank y'all. Bye, Diane. I see you down there.
Yes, again next week.